You know, like I was sober for 2 weeks.
With the former OnlyFans model who killed her boyfriend.
Christian Abusele was brutally stabbed to death.
He was allegedly found by Miami police holding her boyfriend, Christian Abusele, who was bleeding in her arms.
He's responded to this unit 8 times.
Into the second-degree murder case against Clenney.
Step right into the spellbinding world of the Courtney Clenney story. A mesmerizing narrative filled with unexpected twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. From the glamorous backdrop of a Miami condo to the ordinary streets of Texas, this story unfolds like an electrifying ride through fame, tragedy, and scandal. Prepare to be captivated by a tale that defies expectations and explores deep into the complexities of human drama, leaving you hungry for more with each shocking revelation. It begins with the shocking murder of her boyfriend, Christian Abusele, in their Miami condo, followed by Clenney's arrest months later in Hawaii. Amidst the legal proceedings, bizarre incidents emerge, including Clenney's drunken encounter in her parents' Texas neighborhood and her parents' subsequent arrest for interfering with evidence. As the prosecution portrays Abusele as a victim of domestic violence, Clenney's defense argues she acted in self-defense, adding layers of complexity to the narrative. With each twist and turn, the story unfolds with enthralling intensity, leaving observers eager to uncover the truth in the courtroom. Newly uncovered police reports detail bizarre incident involving OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney.
Only on 6 tonight, we're hearing exclusively from a man who says he had a violent and aggressive encounter with the former OnlyFans model who killed her boyfriend.
Happening just 2 months after Christian Abusele was brutally stabbed to death.
After the murder, before Courtney Clenney was charged, she moved to Austin, Texas to live with her parents.
About 2 months after allegedly stabbing her boyfriend in their fancy Miami condo, Courtney Clenney had this wild night in her parents' Texas neighborhood. Yeah, apparently it was all in the police reports.
Before Courtney Clenney was charged, she moved to Austin, Texas to live with her parents. It is there where she had an alleged bizarre incident while taking a walk in her neighborhood.
Now, remember the whole stabbing thing? Well, that happened back in April of 2022. Her boyfriend, Christian Abusele, tragically lost his life. She didn't get arrested until August of the same year. When they finally did catch up with her, she was all the way in Hawaii. Her lawyer said she was there for rehab, dealing with substance abuse and post-traumatic stress disorder. But let's rewind a bit to the Texas incident. So, apparently, Courtney had this bizarre drunken encounter in her parents' neighborhood. Okay, get ready for this wild update in the Courtney Clenney saga. After everything went down with her boyfriend in Miami, she apparently headed to Texas to crash with her people. Now, on June 16, 2022, things got seriously weird. The Travis County Sheriff's Office, out near Austin, had to respond to a pretty bizarre incident involving Courtney.
OnlyFans model who killed her boyfriend.
It's happening just 2 months after Christian Abusele was brutally stabbed to death, and it could be used against Courtney Clenney in court.
Jamie Gorilla is live in Miami tonight to tell us more about what happened.
After the murder, before Courtney Clenney was charged, she moved to Austin, Texas to live with her parents.
This 18-year-old kid was just minding his own business, strolling through his neighborhood, when out of nowhere, this woman with dogs approached him. And guess who it was? Yup, Courtney Clenney herself. Now, she's apparently sloshed, according to the reports. Like, completely wasted. She starts chatting up this poor kid, asking for his name and stuff. Can you imagine being in his shoes? But here's where it gets even crazier. Courtney, in her drunken state, starts making all these inappropriate moves on the guy. I mean, seriously. She's practically hitting on him right then and there. And it doesn't stop there. She straight up tells him to kiss her, and when he refuses, she goes off the rails, threatening to burn his house down.
Death in their luxury Edgewater condo in 2022, Courtney Clenney allegedly found herself in another dicey situation. In June, in her parents' neighborhood in Austin, Texas.
She approached him, what my son said, visibly intoxicated. And she's like, hey, what's your name?
According to an incident report obtained by NBC6, Clenney approached an 18-year-old and asked him to walk her home. He agreed, but according to Jovan, the 18-year-old's father, things got weird when they stopped to sit down.
So they sat there, and she's like, kiss me. And he's like, no, kiss me, no. if you don't kiss me, I'm gonna burn the she said, I'm gonna burn your house, I'm gonna burn that down. That's what she said. I'm gonna burn that down. And then she freaked out. She approached me and she started slapping me as I was standing in between her and my son. She started slapping like this. Nothing major.
So, yeah, that's the latest mess Courtney Clenney found herself in. Stay tuned because it seems like there's never a dull moment with her around. Courtney Clenney's account of the incident. All right, let's break down what happened before and after detectives arrived on the scene. So before they showed up, Courtney was heard talking to herself and praying for her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. She was still in her blood-stained clothes, and she apologized to the investigators for her appearance. She explained to them that she and Christian had a fight earlier that day about sharing their locations on their phones, and things quickly spiraled out of control. She claimed that Christian pushed her against the wall and choked her, making it hard for her to breathe. Feeling threatened, she grabbed a knife with no intention of using it, but when Christian kept advancing, she threw it at him from about 10 feet away, hoping to scare him off. Courtney also opened up about their volatile relationship, admitting to the detectives that they shouldn't be together. After hours of questioning and changing into a blue jumpsuit, the detectives broke the news to her that Christian didn't make it. She was visibly shocked and struggled to believe it at first. Her attorney maintains that Courtney acted in self-defense, but the medical examiner's report suggests otherwise, stating that Christian's injury was consistent with an intentional stab wound. Now Courtney, known online as Courtney Taylor, has a massive following on social media and earns big bucks from endorsements and deals. Despite pleading not guilty, a judge denied her bond, fearing she might try to flee. So, there you have it. The tragic events of that day and Courtney's version of what happened. With the legal battle heating up and conflicting accounts of the incident, it's clear that this case is far from straightforward. Confrontation escalates. So, remember that awkward encounter she had with the 18-year-old kid in Texas?
Self-defense, but prosecutors say Obumseli was a victim of domestic violence.
If I knew what I learned the following day, I would press charges. I would have. I promise you. I didn't know.
So, this poor guy, feeling super uncomfortable, texts his dad for backup. And let me tell you, Dad wasted no time. He comes out to see what the fuss is about, and bam, he's face to face with Courtney Clenney herself. And she's not exactly in the best mood. Now here's where things really spiral out of control. Courtney, already fuming, starts hurling curses left and right. And then, she actually shoves the dad. Can you believe it? But Dad's not having any of it. He shoves her right back and decides to call the cops. But oh no, it doesn't end there. Courtney's not one to back down easily. She starts slapping the dad because he's standing between her and his son. Talk about a chaotic scene, right?
Day now on the OnlyFans model, Courtney Clenney, accused of fatally stabbing her boyfriend last year. Today, Clenney had a court appearance, but her attorneys announced scheduling issues will not allow them to hold her trial this year. They're expecting it to start at the beginning of 2024. Christian Obumseli, who was bleeding in her arms.
According to the reports, Courtney was a total mess. I mean, she was stumbling all over the place and clearly wasted. The deputy finally showed up and started sorting things out. Courtney's mom, Deborah Clenney, jumped in and apologized for her daughter's behavior.
Day now on the OnlyFans model, Courtney Clenney, accused of fatally stabbing her boyfriend last year. Today, Clenney had a court appearance. They're expecting it to start at the beginning of 2024. Clenney was allegedly found by Miami police holding her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, who was bleeding in her arms.
According to her mom, Courtney wasn't even supposed to be drinking. But she snuck out to walk her dogs, and when it got dark, her parents went looking for her. And guess what they found? Courtney is strolling around with some guy. And that, my friends, is just another day in the hectic life of Courtney Clenney. Who knows what's going to happen next with her? Family dynamics unveil it okay. So after that whole chaotic scene with Courtney Clenney in Texas, things started to calm down a bit. But boy, did they leave a lot of questions swirling around. So, here's the latest update. Courtney's mom spilled the beans, admitting that Courtney was definitely drunk during the whole ordeal. Apparently, she's not supposed to be drinking at all because it just doesn't mix well with her. Talk about a revelation, right? But wait, there's more. Courtney's mom also dropped the bomb that Courtney had recently moved back in with them. I guess she's staying there until she gets her place sorted out. And get this, she's supposed to start outpatient treatment for alcohol soon.
Died. Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
For the first time, we're hearing directly from Courtney Clenney, telling her version of what happened leading up to her boyfriend Christian Obumseli's death. NBC6's Kristen Sanchez following these new developments.
Now, when the deputies finally got a chance to talk to Courtney, they noticed she was a bit, well, drunk. Watery eyes and that unmistakable smell of alcohol. But here's the twist. Courtney denied shoving anyone during the whole thing. She even got emotional, explaining how tough things have been for her lately. But here's where it gets exciting. The dad of the kid involved in the whole mess decided he didn't want to press charges. He had no idea about Courtney's past, about how she's accused of murdering her boyfriend. Can you imagine finding that out later? Neighbor vigilance after Courtney Clenney's disturbing behavior. All right, so let's catch up on what happened after that whole crazy encounter with Courtney Clenney in Texas. About 2 weeks later, on June 29, 2022, a deputy decided to check in on the dad and his son, just to make sure everything was okay. And you know what? They hadn't had any more run-ins with Courtney since then. Thank goodness for small mercies, right?
Clenney told detectives that they both got into an argument that escalated, saying that Abusali had his hands around her throat. Prosecutors have said the evidence revealed a close contact stab wound. Now, 3.5 hours into the video, detectives tell Clenney her boyfriend didn't survive.
The dad told the deputy that the neighbors had banded together to keep an eye out for each other, all because of what they'd learned about Courtney. I mean, talk about a neighborhood watch on high alert. The dad made it crystal clear that he wasn't planning on engaging with Courtney if they ever crossed paths again. And honestly, who could blame him? The guy even mentioned that he thought she was aggressive and might hurt someone, especially when she's all messed up on who knows what. Scary stuff, huh? Fast forward to Courtney's arrest in Hawaii. Yeah, she got picked up there and brought back to Miami-Dade. And guess what? She's still sitting behind bars, waiting for her day in court. Oh, and remember how she was this big deal on social media, especially with her OnlyFans gig? Yeah, she had over 2 million followers on Instagram. But all that fame and fortune couldn't save her from the mess she's in now. Courtney and her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, had only moved to South Florida from Texas earlier that year. Who would have thought their journey would take such a dark turn? Guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out in court. Miami-Dade prosecutors versus Clenney's defense. All right, let's dive into the legal drama surrounding Courtney Clenney and her late boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. So the prosecutors in Miami-Dade are painting this intense picture of their relationship, calling it extremely tempestuous and combative. They're even saying that Obumseli was a victim of domestic violence. Talk about heavy accusations.
We appreciate your time. We begin tonight with new video you're watching with us, released by the state attorney's office. Appears to show a former OnlyFans model hitting and cursing out her boyfriend, whom she's accused of killing weeks later.
Courtney Clenney claims she acted in self-defense in April of 2022 when she fatally stabbed her boyfriend.
But hold up, Clenney's attorneys aren't taking that lying down. They're flipping the script, claiming that she was actually the victim in this whole mess. According to them, she was in an abusive relationship and stabbed Obumseli in self-defense. Talk about a significant clash of narratives, huh? Multiple videos floating around supposedly show just how volatile their relationship was. I mean, we're talking about some pretty intense evidence here. But wait, there's more. Now here's where things get really interesting. Apparently the police got wind of something fishy going on with Toby's laptop. See, they got a warrant to snoop around Courtney's iCloud account, and what they found was pretty shocking.
Against Clenney. Obumseli was found stabbed to death at the One Paraíso condo building in Edgewater. The condo building itself and Allied Universal Security are also facing civil lawsuits filed by the Obumseli family.
Text messages between Courtney's parents and her lawyers hinted at serious attempts to crack Toby's laptop passwords. They were trying to access the device even before Courtney had her day in court. One of the messages from Courtney's dad, Kim, even asked if there were any passwords they could try out before Courtney had a chance to talk to her lawyers. So, after the police got wind of their attempts to access Toby's laptop, things started to get really interesting. It turns out that Courtney's dad, Kim, managed to crack the laptop's PIN code. But before he could start snooping around, one of Courtney's lawyers gave him a serious warning. Don't go digging just yet. The lawyer was worried that if Kim found anything helpful, he might end up becoming a witness in the case, which was the last thing they needed at that point. Another lawyer chimed in, warning that messing with the computer's hard drive could make them look really bad in the eyes of the prosecutors. They wanted to maintain their credibility after all, so Kim assured them that he hadn't actually accessed any files on the laptop. He claimed he barely even opened it up before the lawyers told him to back off. They even considered shipping the laptop somewhere, but the lawyers shut that idea down too. They were clearly trying to cover their bases and avoid any potential legal messes. Her family's legal team is firing back at the recent arrests of Kim and Deborah Clenney, Courtney's parents. They're not holding back, expressing shock and concern over the arrests, and accusing the prosecutors of trying to control the narrative.
Courtney Clenney will soon be joined by her parents, Kim and Deborah, in jail. All three now defendants in connection to the murder case of Christian Obumseli.
The parents, both the mom and the dad, as well as Ms. Courtney Clenney, were involved in trying to obstruct justice and tamper with evidence by deleting or removing certain evidence that we believe is going to be very incriminating in this case against her.
Larry Hanfield represents the victim who was stabbed to death by Courtney, the online model charged with second-degree murder.
In a statement to NBC Miami, the Clenney's legal team called the arrests a power play by the prosecutors, suggesting it's all part of an attempt to manipulate the media and discredit them before a crucial hearing. They're not mincing words either. The statement implies that the arrests are excessive and may be an example of prosecutorial misconduct. The Clenney family believes they're being unfairly targeted with what they call trumped-up charges to tarnish their reputation and make their lives miserable. Now, let's backtrack a bit. After Toby Obumseli's tragic death, Miami-Dade prosecutors claimed he was a victim of domestic abuse. But Courtney's lawyers have a different story, arguing that she was actually the victim in the relationship and acted in self-defense. But it doesn't end there. Toby's family has come forward, alleging that Courtney was a manipulative abuser. Talk about conflicting narratives, huh? Oh, and just to give you some context, Courtney and Toby have been together since November 2020. So, this whole situation is deeply tangled in a web of conflicting accusations and legal battles. New charges against Courtney, Clenney unveiled in court. Her parents just got arrested for allegedly poking around her late boyfriend's laptop after his tragic death. When asked about these serious allegations, Courtney's lawyer, Frank Prieto, seemed just as baffled as the rest of us. He couldn't shed much light on why these charges were brought up, suggesting NBC6 talk to the state attorney's office for answers.
Claimed self-defense. In a major twist, 2 years after the murder, Courtney and her parents charged as principals of one another, along with other uncharged individuals, for committing unauthorized access to the victim's computer. Courtney in court for the new charge.
All right, ma'am, so you're charged with computer offenses.
When is this whole circus heading to trial? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Prosecutor Khalil Quinan says things are moving at a snail's pace, and he's pointing fingers at the defense attorneys for dragging their feet. To try and keep things under control, the state attorneys are pushing for a partial gag order. Basically, they want everyone involved to keep quiet about the case unless it's strictly procedural. But Prieto, Courtney's lawyer, isn't having it. He argues that they should be able to speak out to defend their client. Now, it's all in the hands of Judge Laura Cruz, who is expected to decide on this gag order soon. On top of the second-degree murder charge she's already facing for the death of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, Courtney now has some new charges to deal with. Assistant State Attorney Sean Abuhoff dropped the bomb that Courtney's been hit with a count of interception of electronic communication, along with a charge for unauthorized access to a computer. After Obumseli's tragic death, a bunch of his stuff mysteriously vanished from the apartment, never making its way back to his family. And guess what? Through some serious investigative work, the cops found out that Courtney's parents, Kim and Deborah Clenney, were trying to break into Obumseli's laptop. Like, seriously? According to the warrants, Kim was sending texts in a group chat, asking if there were any passwords they could try out on the laptop. And guess what? He cracked it. He even sent a message saying, "Hell yeah, that pin worked." But then, one of Courtney's attorneys stepped in, warning them not to go digging around just yet. This was a smart move, considering they didn't want Kim to become a witness if they found anything juicy. But here's where it gets even weirder. Records show that Courtney's attorney eventually took control of the laptop and handed it over to a technology consultant, but only Courtney and her parents were charged with breaking into it. The Courtney Clenney case is a complex and captivating saga filled with intrigue and drama. From the shocking murder of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, to the bizarre incidents that followed, including Clenney's arrest in Hawaii and her parents' involvement in alleged evidence tampering. This story has gripped audiences with its twists and turns. Clenney's defense argues self-defense, while prosecutors paint a picture of domestic violence. Conflicting narratives and legal battles have kept observers on edge, eager to uncover the truth. As the case unfolds, the courtroom awaits the resolution of this gripping tale, leaving everyone wondering what the final verdict will reveal about the events that transpired on that fateful day in Miami. With Clenney and her parents facing serious charges related to evidence tampering, what implications will this have for the overall trajectory of the case? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Your support means a lot to us. Take care until the next one, and feel free to drop a comment sharing your thoughts. See you soon.